Hi everyone, my name is Lauren and welcome back to my channel. If you are watching this, today is the day of celebration because it means that we have sold this house and we have paid off $75,000 in student loans. Can I hear a hallelujah? We still have $7,000 to go, but I still say this is a huge accomplishment and I am just so proud of what we've been able to accomplish because like I said, I didn't know if this was going to be possible when we first got married. So I wanted to share kind of how we did it or some overarching principles of how we're able to pay off debt living on a pretty modest salary compared to a lot of people. So like I said, these are going to be overarching broad kind of themes or principles that we live by, not the nitty-gritty details. I'll share those kind of in later videos. The first principle is that we have learned how to be content in all circumstances, no matter what. I think that it's really easy to think I'll be content or happy when this happens, when I get the raise, when we get the bigger house, when I get the nicer car, rather looking to be content despite circumstances, and be content in difficult circumstances. And I think this has been really helpful for us because I think that often if you're not content, you look to fill or make yourself happy by buying all these things, thinking that that will make you happy. And so rather we've just learned to be content living a very simple life. And by living simply, we've just learned that we really don't need a lot to be happy. And so really all these extra things are simply that. They're just extras. They're not needed to determine our happiness. They're just extras. And so if we have them, great. And if we don't, great. And that's really allowed us to be okay living with little and using a lot of our money to pay off a majority of our debt. And we're also just secure in who we are and what we believe, and we don't feel like we have to prove that we're valuable or prove that we're successful to other people by the things that we own or a nice house, that we're happy and secure in who we are, like I said, and what we believe, and that just allows us to live simply because we're not trying to prove anything. The second thing that we do is we budget, and we have a physical budget that we sit down and talk about. And a budget is really just a way to show what you value on paper. They say that, if you want to know what someone values, look at their checkbook or their schedule, or check your checkbook or your schedule, and it will tell you what you value most. And to me, a budget is a way, like I said, to put into action what we believe. And it's a really good way for my husband and I to discuss our values and our goals. And I also think that it's a fun challenge, honestly. Like, if we take $10 off here and $20 off here, it can add up. And at one point, we were spending $1,600 towards student loans every month because we were just trying to, do we really need this? Do we really need that? It's a fun challenge. So I'm going to list our line item of our budget. I'm not going to fill in the numbers right now, although I am willing to do that. I'm a pretty open book if you know me, because right now we're kind of in a transition period and I don't feel like the numbers are going to be very accurate. We don't know what house we're buying, how much our house is going to be, and so a lot of things are up in the air. But I do plan on doing that in a video soon. But you can see that we budget a lot in detail. We budget gifts. We add up all the gifts we plan on buying throughout the year and divide it by 12. We budget for our dog each month when he goes to the vet or if he goes to the groomer. He doesn't do that every month, but we put money aside for that. It's really easy to see a budget as restrictive, but I think that a budget, for me at least, is really freeing because my personality is to restrict, restrict, restrict. No, we can't afford doing that. No, we can't go out to eat. No, we can't go have fun. And I think a budget actually helps me say, oh, we can achieve our financial goals. We can pay off student loans and go out to eat every once in a while, and go have fun, and say yes to these things. So a budget can actually be really free. The third thing that we do is we buy a lot of things secondhand. We look at Facebook Marketplace or we look at garage sales for items, especially things like baby items. My daughter, I bought a bouncer for $25 on Facebook Marketplace. She used it for 2 months and now she's outgrown it or become tired of it. And I can sell it again on Facebook Marketplace for 25 bucks. It's basically just like I borrowed it and I don't have to store it in my house. And when I have another baby, I can just buy another bouncer for 25 bucks and sell it for 25 bucks. And so I don't have to store items either. It saves a lot of money and also space. I plan on doing a whole video about things that I've purchased secondhand, my favorite secondhand purchases, as well as my favorite clothing that I've been able to find secondhand. The fourth thing that we do is that we plan ahead. And so to give you an example is that I've started looking for Christmas items for family and for my daughter in September. I started looking at Facebook Marketplace because my daughter's 9 months old. She's honestly going to have more fun with the wrapping paper than she is with the toy, and she's not going to remember what she got for her first Christmas. And like I said, I am not finding junky things on Facebook Marketplace for my daughter. I am picky. When I say picky, I mean picky. I'm picky about price and I am picky about quality. And I have found some really cool items on Facebook Marketplace for Christmas for my daughter. I plan on also making another video about that. If you start early too, you can look for deals. So when I'm thinking of Christmas, I have already purchased a lot of my Christmas items because I've been able to get them on sale because I've planned ahead and I've been patient in waiting for a sale to happen. So another example is Halloween's coming up, and I started looking at costumes on Facebook Marketplace probably in August because I knew that's coming up and I want my daughter to have a cute outfit. I want to coordinate as a family. How can I do this, with the least money possible? One way was planning ahead and looking for items way in advance. So I'm not in a pinch and making a decision last minute and saying, okay, I'll just pay the $20 because I need a costume. Planning ahead just allows you to not have to make decisions based on desperation. Because when we do that, when we're in a pinch, when it's last minute, we often don't make the greatest financial decisions. The fifth thing that we do is that we are patient. So often, like I said, we'll wait for a sale to buy something, or we often, my birthday is in August, and so if it's June and I want something, I'll often just say, I might just wait and get that for my birthday, or ask that for my birthday, or use my birthday money to buy that item. An example is my husband built me a beautiful outdoor wooden table, and I needed an umbrella to go with it. And I kind of looked at them, but they were still really expensive during the summer. And then in July, my mother-in-law asked if I would like that for my birthday, and I said yes. And so then I waited a few more weeks, and I got it for my birthday, and I didn't have to pay anything. So being patient allows you to wait for sales and also just allows you to maybe wait and use money you get for your birthday or Christmas to buy the item rather than out of your own pocket. I think waiting also just kind of helps you evaluate whether you actually want the item or not. I think sometimes we make a decision in the moment thinking that we're really going to use it or really like it. But if we just wait a few weeks, sometimes we can't remember what the item is that we wanted for our birthday after all, which tells us that you probably didn't need it in the first place. The sixth thing that we do is that we meal plan, and this really just helps us stay on budget, and it just helps us make sure that we have enough food for the week so we don't have to run and get fast food because we run out, and it also just helps us not have to waste food at the end because we bought too much. The seventh thing isn't something we really consciously think of, but it's just kind of something as I thought about, we just do. We name what we're going to buy before we go to the store. And what I mean by this is really that we just don't go shopping for just because. When we walk into a store, there's a specific thing that we're going there for. So we don't just go clothes shopping in general. We go shopping for blue jeans. I go shopping for black pair of maternity leggings. We go shopping for disc golf shorts. Whatever it might be, we name what we're going for so that we have an idea of what our goal is and we don't deviate from that. So we aren't tempted by sales or things like that. I don't go to Target and just browse the home decor section because that would be dangerous territory. I don't go to Hobby Lobby and just see what's on sale because that would be dangerous territory. And so there was someone recently who was going shopping and my husband goes, "Oh, what are you going for?" Thinking that they're going to give a specific item. And they're just like, "Oh, everything and anything." And he was just like, "Oh, okay." Like that was just not that, you could just tell that was just unusual for him. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, we really just don't do that. Like we go into a store saying, what are we buying? Because if we go in there without a plan, often there's just a lot of things we find that we feel like we need. We have to have that when we walked into the store, we didn't know, which means we didn't actually need it. So the eighth thing that we do is we just find creative alternatives. And what I mean by this is that we just ask ourselves, what need are we actually trying to fill? Sometimes we go to the movie theater because Marvel Endgame is in theater and we don't want to wait, and because we know if we wait until it's after theaters, there's going to be spoilers and it's going to ruin it for us. So we go to the movies when there's a specific movie that we want to see that will be ruined if we would have to wait. Sometimes we don't have a specific movie that we want to see. We just want to go on a date and it's kind of a fun thing to do. And so rather than go to the theater, we'll get a Redbox movie and we'll get some cheap candy at Walmart and we'll get a blanket and we'll cuddle up on the couch and watch a movie. Because the need isn't that specific movie, it's just quality time together. So a lot of times we just ask, what is the actual need that we're trying to fill, and can we fill it in a cheaper way or a more creative way? Watching movies in your home, if it's not a movie like Marvel or something that really needs that theater experience, is really just as good, and sometimes I think better. Another example of a creative solution that my best friend gave me is that she was really wanting to go putt-putting. She thought it would be fun. She hadn't been in a while, but she was like, I don't really know if we have it in the budget to go. And so what they did instead is they realized we just want to go out and we just want to do something with people. And so they went to the park and took bocce ball and invited their friends, and they said they had an awesome time. And it really filled that need of social interaction and just getting out of the house that they were desiring. Also, inviting people over or having them over for dinner is often just as good, if not better, than going out to eat with people, and often a lot cheaper. The last thing that's helped us get out of debt is that we've invested in strong social relationships. I think it's important to give a lot and take a little. I think that even more than the stock market, that investing in social relationships is the number one thing that you can do. Why? Because there is so much joy and security to be found in having strong relationships. I know right now if my husband would lose his job and he's the sole income, that there are 20 people that we could call that would, no questions asked, let us move in with them today. And that is just such a secure feeling to have. It's also just so beautiful that we might have skills, ability, or time that other people don't have, and they might have tools or knowledge that we don't have, and we can share in those resources. Right now, my husband's working on a bathroom for someone, and they have a truck that we sometimes use when we do home improvements. And so it's just such a beautiful thing that we don't have to go out and buy a new truck or to buy this certain tool that's really expensive, but we can share in the resources that we have. And I just think that's a really neat thing and saves you a lot of time, but also just adds so much more. It means so much more than just saving money. So that's it. Those are kind of the 9 big principles that we live by. We're content in all of our circumstances. We budget. We buy things secondhand. We plan ahead. We're patient in buying things. We meal plan. We name what we want to buy before we buy it. We come up with creative solutions, and we invest in our social relationships. As always, I hope you found this helpful, and I hope that you can take some of these principles and apply them to your life so that you can pay off debt, reach your financial goals, live generously, and most of all, live a life with intention and look back on your life and say that you spent it intentionally. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.